Hello. Welcome to this Advanced Steel 2021 tutorial. Today I will show you how to create a end plate for column. Now navigate to the top of the column at grid 1A. On Connection Vault, select Plates at Beam Group, then select End Plate tool. Now select the column at grid 1A to put end plate on. As you can see, a end plate and a end plate dialog box will be shown. Now we are going to adjust the end plate's dimension and thickness. On End Plate dialog box, select Layout tab, and then type 30 into Thickness field. Let's check the height of column in the 3D model. It is now 7,530 mm. The designed height is 7,500 mm. So switch back to the 3D model, right-click on the joint box, and select Advanced Joint Properties from context menu. On the Layout tab, select Plate Thickness option for shortening. In order to make it easy to modify the gusset plate, we're going to use the Quick View on Joint to show only the end plate joint. On Advanced Steel Tool palette, select Quick View Group, then select View on Joint tool. Click on the end plate for identifying object. Then select Arrow from the top for selection CS. Switch back to End Plate dialog box to adjust the height and width of the end plate. Right-click on Joint box and select Advanced Joint Properties from context menu. Then select the Dimensions tab and uncheck the All Projections Equal option. Switch to 2D drawing to get the end plate's height and width. Now back to 3D drawing to check the current dimensions of end plate. We are going to rotate the UCS around Y-axis to make it easy to show the dimension text. The length of the end plate is 240 and the height is 230. But the designed length is 450 and the height is 320. So we need to extend both the left edge and the right edge of the end plate 105 mm. Now switch back to End Plate diagonal box. To adjust the length, let's type 105 into projection 3 and 4. And we need to extend to the top edge and the bottom edge 90 mm. We are going to type 45 into both projection 1 and 2 to get the width 320. Now exit the diagonal box to go back to 3D model, check the end plate dimensions again. Now on Advanced Tool palette, select Quick View Group, then select All Visible Tool to show all. We are going to use Create by Template tool to copy the end plate from column at grid 1 to other columns in grid 1. Now select Create by Template tool on Advanced Tool palette. Then select End plate at grid 1A as connection part. And then select column at grid 1B and grid 1C and grid 1D to put end plate on. Now we are going to add a gusset plate, connect the bracing UPN 160 to the column and end plate. Go back to 3D model. Navigate the left view to the top end of the column at grid 1A. On Connection Vault, select General Bracing Group, then select Gusset Plate to column and base plate. Now click on column at grid 1A and press Enter. Then click on End plate for selection base plate and press Enter. Finally select UPN 160 as diagonal beam. Don't forget hit Enter after finishing selection. To make it easy to adjust the gusset plate, we are going to use the Quick View on Joint tool to isolate only the joint volume. Now select Quick View on Joint in Advanced Steel Tool palette, then select Gusset Plate for Identify Object. Now right-click on Gusset plate, then select Advanced Steel Properties option from context menu. On Gusset Plate tab, select Perpendicular option in Shape at Main Beam field to make the lower edge of the gusset perpendicular with the column. Then select Variable option for Shape at Beam plate. Now the gusset plate is on the one side of the UNP. To make the gusset plate move to the center of the diagonal beam, just select Center option in Plate Arrangement field. Open the 2D drawing. Check the gap between end of UPN 160 and the flange column. It is now 20. Now back to 3D model and check the gap between end of UPN 160 and the web of the column. Right-click on Joint box and select Advanced Joint Properties from context menu. On Gusset Plate to Column and Base Plate dialog box, select Gusset Plate Parameter tab. Then type 10 for both projection 1 and 2. Now we are going to adjust the gap between end of UPN and the flange of the column. Go back to 3D model. The designed gap between the end of the diagonal UPN and the flange of the column is 20, so that the gap between this end to the column's web is 136. Now open the Gusset Plate to Column End Base Plate dialog box again. Then select Bolts in Diagonal tab, type 136 into Cutback field. As you can see, the end of the UNP has just moved far away from the column. Now we are going to adjust the bolts row and column distance. Type 35 for 2. Edge distance 1. This is the distance between the first bolts column and the diagonal beam edge. Then type 50 into 4, intermediate distance field. This is the distance between two bolt columns. Finally type 35 into 5, edge distance 2 field. The designed bolt's row distance is 60, so that we are going to input 60 into 8 intermediate distance option. Thank you for watching and see you soon.